Cao Cao, having won the great victory at Guandu, pressed forward to chase Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao, dressed only in plain clothes and accompanied by 800 riders, fled to the north bank of Liang, where General Jiang Yitzu received him. Yuan Shao explained his defeat, and Jiang Yitzu quickly gathered the scattered soldiers. Once the men learned that Yuan Shao had survived, they regrouped like swarming ants, and the army seemed revived. They planned to return to Jizhou. That night, camping in the wilderness, Yuan Shao heard weeping in the distance. Curious, he went secretly to listen and found defeated soldiers lamenting lost brothers and comrades, crying out, "If only we had heeded Tianfeng's words, we would not be suffering now." Yuan Shao regretted bitterly. "I failed to heed Tianfeng, leading to this disaster. How can I face him when I return?" The next day, Feng Ji came with reinforcements. Yuan Shao confessed again his shame at ignoring Tianfeng. Feng Ji slandered Tianfeng. "When Tianfeng heard of your defeat, he clapped and laughed, saying it was just as he predicted." Enraged, Yuan Shao sent an emissary with a sword to Jizhou prison to execute Tianfeng. In prison, Tianfeng already knew his fate. He sighed, "To serve a lord without wisdom is folly. Since I must die today, I regret nothing." He then took his own life. Those who heard of his death all grieved. Back in Jizhou, Yuan Shao was restless and inattentive to state affairs. His wife, Lady Liu, urged him to appoint an heir. Yuan Shao had 3 sons. The eldest, Yuan Tan, governor of Qingzhou; the second, Yuan Shi, governor of Yuzhou; and the third, Yuan Shang, Lady Liu's own son, handsome and beloved, who remained at Yuan Shao's side. Lady Liu pressed for Yuan Shang to be made heir. Yuan Shao summoned advisors Shun Pei, Feng Ji, Xian Ping, and Gui Tu. Shun and Feng favored Yuan Shang, Xian and Gui supported Yuan Tan. Yuan Shao declared, "Tan is harsh and quick to kill, she is weak and indecisive. Shang is heroic in appearance and respectful toward scholars. I intend to name him heir." Gui Tu objected. "If you set aside the eldest for the youngest, chaos will arise. With the enemy still pressing, we must not invite civil strife. Focus first on resisting Cao Cao, and then discuss succession." Yuan Shao hesitated. Soon reports arrived. Yuan Shi was bringing 60,000 troops from Yuzhou, Yuan Tan 50,000 from Qingzhou, and his nephew Gaogan 50,000 from Bingzhou, all to Jizhou. Yuan Shao rejoiced, regrouped his forces, and prepared for battle. Meanwhile, Cao Cao, stationed on the riverbank, received local elders who recalled an old prophecy that 50 years after a celestial sign, a true leader would arise from Liang and Pei. They praised Cao Cao as a righteous commander who punished the guilty and aided the people. Cao Cao modestly rewarded them and enforced strict discipline in his army, winning civilian trust. News came that Yuan Shao, mustering 200,000 to 300,000 troops, had encamped at Cangting. The armies faced off. Yuan Shang rode forth and shot an arrow that struck Shi Huan, a subordinate of Su Huang, dead. Both sides clashed fiercely, then withdrew. Advisor Cheng Yu proposed a strategy of 10 ambushes, luring Yuan Shao's army into a trap by feigned retreat. Cao Cao agreed, dividing his commanders into ambushes on both wings and the center. That night, Su Chu led a false raid and then retreated, drawing Yuan Shao's troops in pursuit. By dawn they reached the river, where Cao Cao ordered his men to turn and fight with no retreat. Yuan Shao's army collapsed. Ambushes by Xiahou Yuan, Gao Lan, Eugene, Li Dian, Su Huang, Zhang Liao, and Zhang He struck in succession. Corpses filled the fields. Yuan Shao fled with his sons. Yuan Shi and Gao Gan were wounded. Yuan Shao wept and coughed blood, crying, "Heaven has abandoned me." He sent Xian Ping and Gui Tu with Yuan Tan back to Qingzhou, Yuan Shi to Yuzhou, Gao Gan to Bingzhou, while he returned to Jizhou with Yuan Shang to recover, leaving Shang, Shun Pei, and Feng Ji in charge. After the Cangting victory, Cao Cao rewarded his soldiers and sent spies to Jizhou. They reported that Yuan Shao lay ill. Yuan Shang and Shun Pei guarded the city, while Yuan Tan, Yuan Shi, and Gao Gan returned to their provinces. Many urged Cao Cao to attack, but he said, "Jizhou is rich in grain. To rush now may harm the people. Better to wait until after harvest." At that moment, Sun Yu's letter arrived. Liu Bei had gathered Liu Pai and Gong Du in Runan and was marching on Xuchang. Alarmed, Cao Cao left Chaohong to guard the river as a bluff and personally led his army south. Liu Bei, with Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Zhao Yun, advanced toward Xuchang and camped at Mount Rang. Guan Yu held the southeast, Zhang Fei the southwest, Liu Bei and Zhao Yun the south. Confronting Cao Cao, Liu Bei denounced him as a traitor and produced the edict in the belt. Angered, Cao Cao sent Su Chu to duel Zhao Yun. They fought evenly for 30 bouts, until Guan Yu and Zhang Fei charged together, defeating the weary Cao army. The next day Zhao Yun challenged again. Chao's troops would not come out. Zhang Fei did likewise the following day. Still no battle. Liu Bei grew suspicious. Suddenly word came. Gong Du's grain convoy was surrounded. Zhang Fei went to rescue. Another report. Xiahou Dun was striking at Runan, and Guan Yu went to counter him. Soon more news. Xiahou Dun had already seized Runan, Liu Pai had fled, Guan Yu was trapped, Zhang Fei too was surrounded. Meanwhile, Su Chu challenged outside the camp. Liu Bei dared not respond. At dawn Liu Bei began retreating. But turning a ridge he fell into an ambush. Torches lit the hills, and Cao Cao personally appeared. Zhao Yun carved a path through, protecting Liu Bei. Su Chu, Eugene, and Li Dian pursued. Forced into mountain paths, Liu Bei narrowly escaped. At dawn he encountered Liu Pai escorting his family, along with Sun Qian, Jian Yong, and Mi Fang. But Zhang He blocked the road and Gao Lan attacked from the side. Liu Bei, desperate, almost took his own life. Liu Pai sacrificed himself but was slain quickly. Suddenly, Zhao Yun reappeared, spearing Gao Lan to death, and fought Zhang He fiercely. Though Zhang He retreated, his men blocked the pass. Just then Guan Yu arrived with Guan Ping and Zhou Tsang. Together they drove off Zhang He and held the mountain. Guan Yu found Zhang Fei, who had barely escaped after Gong Du's death at Xiahou Yuan's hands, and an encirclement by Eugene. Guan Yu freed him, and the brothers rejoined Liu Bei. The Cao army pressed on again, but Liu Bei sent Sun Qian to escort his household while he, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Zhao Yun fought rearguard actions until Cao Cao called off the pursuit. Reaching the Han River, Liu Bei encamped. Local villagers recognized him and brought sheep and wine. Liu Bei sighed. "You are all men of talent, yet you suffer following me. I have nothing, and fear I ruin your futures. Why not leave me and seek a worthy lord?" They wept. Guan Yu replied, "Victory and defeat are common in war. Did not Emperor Gaozu once lose many battles before finally prevailing at Jiuli Mountain?" Sun Qian urged, "We are near Jingzhou. Liu Biao is strong and wealthy, and of the same imperial clan. Why not seek him?" Liu Bei feared rejection, but Sun Qian volunteered to negotiate. He hurried to Liu Biao, explaining, "Liu Bei once considered fleeing east to Sun Quan, but I persuaded him to seek Qin instead. He comes in sincerity." Liu Biao rejoiced. "Xuanda is my brother. I have long wished to meet him." Kai Mao objected. "Liu Bei is fickle, once serving Liu Bu, then Cao Cao, then Yuan Shao. If we shelter him, Cao Cao may attack us. Better to kill Sun Qian and send his head to Cao Cao." Sun Qian retorted, "Liu Bei is loyal to the Han, unlike those opportunists. He comes now because of kinship. Why speak slander?" Liu Biao scolded Kai Mao, then personally rode out 30 li to welcome Liu Bei. They treated each other with courtesy, and Liu Bei was housed in Jingzhou with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. Cao Cao, learning Liu Bei had entered Jingzhou, wished to invade. Cheng Yu advised, "Yuan Shao is not yet destroyed. To march south now risks him rising again. Better to return to Su, rest the army, defeat Yuan Shao first, then take Jingzhou." Cao Cao agreed and withdrew. By the first month of Jianan Year 8, Cao Cao again marched north, leaving Xiahou Dun and Man Chong to guard Runan against Liu Bei, and Chao Run and Sun Yu to guard Su. Personally, he went to Guandu. Meanwhile, Yuan Shao, still ill after coughing blood, sought to strike Su. Shun Pei urged caution. Our defeats at Guandu and Cangting have shaken morale. We should fortify and recover strength. But then came word. Cao Cao was already advancing. Yuan Shao insisted on leading an army. Yuan Shang offered to go in his father's place, and Yuan Shao consented, also summoning Yuan Tan, Yuan Shi, and Gao Gan for a four-pronged assault on Cao Cao. Summary. After his disastrous defeat at Guandu, Yuan Shao ignored loyal advice, killed Tian Feng, and left behind seeds of family division by favoring his youngest son Yuan Shang over the elder Yuan Tan. At Cangting, Cao Cao crushed Yuan Shao again with Cheng Yu's ambush strategy, shattering his power. Cao Cao meanwhile showed political wisdom, avoiding rash attacks on Jizhou to spare the people, and turning swiftly to counter Liu Bei at Mount Rang. Liu Bei, though repeatedly defeated, survived thanks to the valor of Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Zhao Yun, and through Sun Qian's diplomacy he gained refuge with Liu Biao in Jingzhou. For the moment he had a safe haven. By spring of the next year, Cao Cao set a grand strategy of north first, south later, focusing on finishing Yuan Shao before turning against Jingzhou. Yuan Shao, despite illness, summoned his sons and nephew for another confrontation. Though the final outcome remained undecided, internal strife within the Yuan family was already inevitable, setting the stage for their decline. Knowledge points. 1. Tianfeng's death. In the novel, Yuan Shao kills Tian Feng immediately after Guandu out of shame and anger. In history, Tian Feng was indeed imprisoned for his blunt advice, but executed later when Cao Cao captured Jizhou. The novel dramatizes Yuan Shao's cruelty. 2. The scale of the Battle of Cangting. The novel describes vast forces in Cao Cao's grand 10 ambushes. Historically, the numbers were much smaller. Yuan Shao's army was larger, but not hundreds of thousands. Cao Cao's victory came more from discipline, strategy, and logistics than theatrical ambushes. 3. Liu Bei's defeat at Runan. In the novel, Liu Bei nearly committed suicide and was saved by Zhao Yun's heroic single combat, highlighting Zhao Yun's loyalty and prowess. Historical records simply state that Liu Bei rose in Runan with Liu Pai and Gong Du, but was suppressed by Cao Cao's generals. The dramatic rescues and near tragedies are literary embellishments.